Long ago, in a quiet village nestled between the rolling hills and thick forests of ancient Africa, there lived a young girl named Adama. She was the daughter of a humble farmer and known throughout the village for her unshakable courage. Though only 13 seasons old, Adama was wiser than many elders and braver than any warrior. Her skin shimmered like polished mahogany, and her eyes burned with the fire of 1,000 suns. The people of the village respected Adama's boldness, but many also feared it. "A girl so brave is unnatural," whispered some. "She will one day bring trouble upon herself." But Adama paid them no mind. She spent her days helping her father tend the yams and maize, and her evenings listening to stories by the fire. From the old griot who spoke of gods, beasts, and heroes of long ago. One evening, as the moon rose full and heavy in the sky, the village chief summoned all the villagers to the central square. His face was grim, and his walking staff trembled in his aged hands. "My people," he began, "the time of peace has ended. A monster has awakened in the forest of Duka. It devours our livestock, poisons our wells, and has taken the children of our neighbors in the east." A murmur of fear spread among the people. The forest of Duka had long been forbidden, its darkness hiding things not meant to be disturbed. Adama stepped forward, her chin lifted proudly. "What will we do about it, Baba Chief?" she asked, her voice steady. The chief looked at her with both pride and concern. "We will offer gifts to the gods and pray the monster returns to sleep." Adama shook her head. "The gods help those who help themselves. I will go into the forest of Duka and face the monster." Gasps erupted from the crowd. Her father rushed forward. "No, Adama. You are only a child." But Adama stood firm. "A child I may be, but I will not watch my people live in fear." The griot, his eyes clouded with wisdom, stepped closer. "Bravery walks hand in hand with fate. If you go, Adama, you must carry 3 things: truth, patience, and a gift." Adama nodded. She returned home and packed her small satchel with a smooth stone from the river, truth, a flute carved from baobab wood, patience, and a necklace made by her late mother, a gift. Before sunrise, she set off alone, barefoot and unarmed, into the thick mists of the forest of Duka. The trees whispered as she walked. Vines crept across her path, and strange eyes glowed in the darkness. But Adama's heart did not waver. Midday, she came to a clearing where birds did not sing and the air hung heavy with silence. There, she saw signs, clawed footprints, trees scorched black, and bones of wild animals. She followed the trail of destruction until she came upon a hill with a cave entrance at its base. The stench of rot poured from within. Inside the cave, something stirred. A low growl echoed, shaking the very stones beneath her feet. Adama took out her flute and played a gentle melody. The notes danced through the cave, soft and curious. From the darkness emerged a beast taller than 3 men, with scales like obsidian and eyes like dying stars. Its breath was smoke and it roared. "Who dares enter my den?" Adama bowed. Respectfully, "I am Adama, daughter of farmers, and I come to ask why you bring harm to our lands." The monster tilted its massive head. "No one has ever dared speak to me without trembling." Adama stepped forward. "I was raised to speak with truth." The monster snarled. "Your truth is weakness. I destroy because I was made to destroy. The world rejected me." Adama sat cross-legged and listened. "Tell me your story," she said. The monster was silent for a time, then spoke. "Long ago, I was a guardian of the forest, made by the gods. But when men came with fire and greed, they cut the sacred trees, spilled poison into the rivers, and hunted my kin. I begged the gods to stop them. It continued, but they remained silent. So I became fury. I became vengeance." Adama's voice was soft. "Vengeance is not justice. Let me show you another way." The monster bared its fangs. "You are but a girl. What can you offer?" She removed the necklace from her neck. "This belonged to my mother. She believed every creature deserved compassion. I give it to you, not as a bribe, but as a reminder." The monster reached for the necklace with a clawed hand, trembling. "This feels warm, like the sun." Adama nodded. "Because it carries love. Not all humans are destroyers." The monster began to weep, its tears falling like molten silver. "I have been alone for centuries." "You are not alone anymore," said Adama. standing. "Come with me. Let the people see you. Let us heal together." The monster hesitated. "They will fear me." "Perhaps," Adama replied. "But change begins with courage." The monsters slowly rose, and together, they walked out of the cave. As they returned to the village, birds began to sing once more, and the forest lightened. The sun was setting behind the hills when Adama and the monster reached the edge of the forest. The villagers, who had gathered to mourn her, saw a shadow approaching and held their breath. Cries of panic erupted. Spears were raised. Mothers clutched their children. But Adama raised her hands and stood between them and the towering beast. "Do not fear," she called. "This is not a monster. This is a guardian, forgotten by time, wounded by our mistakes." The chief stepped forward, trembling with fear and awe. "Is this truly the creature that devoured our cattle and dried our wells?" "Yes," said Adama, "but not out of malice. Out of pain. Out of betrayal." The village elder Griot nodded. "Even the baobab tree, twisted and hollow, still grows leaves when treated with care." The villagers listened as the monster spoke. In a voice that shook the air, "I have seen your cruelty, but I have also seen your courage in this girl. I ask not for forgiveness," it continued, "but for a chance to guard you again, if you will honor the forest." A long silence followed. Then an old woman stepped forward and laid her hand on the monster's claw. "Let the past rest. Let the healing begin." Cheers broke out among the villagers, and the chief declared, "From this day forward, we will respect the forest, and in return, it shall protect us." The monster bowed its massive head, and for the first time in centuries, it felt peace bloom in its chest. Adama was celebrated not as a child, but as a hero, wise beyond her years and brave beyond measure. She did not claim riches or glory. Instead, she asked that a new grove be planted at the edge of the forest, sacred and untouched. The monster returned to its home, now no longer a den of shadows, but a sanctuary where children could learn the songs of the trees that in time. The forest flourished. Rivers ran clear. Animals returned. And the people learned to live in harmony with the world around them. Adama grew into a wise woman, a storyteller and peacekeeper, whose name echoed in song and tale across the land. The necklace she gave to the monster was placed atop a stone altar in the grove, a symbol of peace between humankind and nature. Many came to sit beneath the sacred baobab planted in Adama's honor, where the wind whispered secrets and the earth hummed softly. The monster would visit the village from time to time, always at dusk, to sit with Adama and share stories of the stars and the old gods. No child feared it now. They called it Baba Mo, the grandfather of the forest. The villagers grew wise in the ways of balance, taking only what they needed, giving thanks, and leaving offerings in the grove. The griot composed a song for Adama, one that would be sung for generations. She walked with truth, she walked with grace, into the monster's shadowed place. With heart unshaken, soul so wide, she taught the dark to stand with pride. Visitors from distant lands came to hear the tale, and Adama welcomed all, teaching them the wisdom of peace and patience. But not all was always calm. One season, a group of hunters came, greedy for tusks and hides. They ignored the warnings. They entered the forest without song, without offering, and with fire in their hands. The forest grew still. The birds vanished. And from the shadows, the guardian came, not in fury, but in sorrow. Adama stood before it. "Let them learn," she said, "but do not destroy. Teach." The monster roared, and the hunters dropped their weapons in terror. They were led back to the village and made to tend the grove for 3 moons. When they left, they bowed to the trees and wept, changed by what they had learned. Adama grew old. Her hair turned silver, her hands wrinkled. Yet her spirit remained fierce as fire. Children sat around her every evening, begging for the tale of the monster and the necklace, the flute and the gift, and each time she told it, she began the same way. It is not strength that tames monsters, but understanding. When she felt her time on earth was nearing its end, she walked alone to the grove and sat beneath the baobab. The wind swirled gently, and the monster arrived. No longer terrifying, but majestic, like a mountain wrapped in mist. They sat in silence. For a long while, remembering all they had seen, all they had changed. "I am ready," Adama whispered, placing her hand on the earth. The monster laid its claw beside her hand. Your story will never die, it said. The next morning, the villagers found her beneath the tree, her face peaceful, a faint smile on her lips. Flowers had bloomed around her, though it was not their season, the griot declared. The earth has claimed her as its daughter. They did not bury her, but built a shrine at the base of the baobab and carved her story into its roots with sacred tools. The grove became a place of pilgrimage. Each year, on the night of the full moon, people lit lamps and told her tale under the stars. No war ever touched the village again. No fire scarred the trees. For Adama's spirit lingered, watching, guiding. The monster, too, became legend. But to those who believed, its